All right, good morning, good afternoon, happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whatever day you are listening to this. I'm glad you're here. My name is Ben Hutton, and this is With Purpose, the podcast where we think about the week ahead, learn a little bit together, and then make some plans. I am grateful that you are joining me on this journey. I had a vision for what this podcast might be a few months ago, and it's taken a long time for us to put all the parts and pieces together and actually create something like you see here. Actually, that's why I have with me today a sculpture that I love. And I want to walk you through what I see in this, maybe a little bit of what the artist was thinking when he created it, and what it means for me in terms of how I lead now because of it. So let's dive in. This is a piece of art called Folding Planes, created by a sculptor from New Mexico named Kevin Box. And Kevin creates origami out of metal, essentially. A little more involved process than that, but you can see the result. This particular piece is called Folding Planes, and it's actually one of his earlier sculptures, actually from like 2009, so it's been around a while. And I first saw this piece about then in a gallery that I had happened to wander through, and it struck me at that point in time. But I didn't get it, and I didn't pick it up until I saw it again many years later, almost a decade later. But I just love it because I think it's filled with a lot of emotion and also represents a lot about business. So at the bottom, you'll notice it's like a flat piece of paper. And at the top is a paper airplane. At the top, I think this paper airplane represents emotion and excitement and vision. And I think in a business from a business perspective, that's what this represents, is these visions that we have and what we talk about. At the bottom, the blank piece of paper represents potential. So this blank piece of paper could be anything. We could draw a picture on it. We can fold it into a box. We can crumple it up and throw it at somebody as a joke. Like, it can be anything. That's unlimited potential. But that's not why I love it. I love potential and I love big visions. The reason I love this sculpture is what's in between those things. So if you look at a paper airplane closely, and we've all made a paper airplane that looks just like this before, what you will notice is to make that plane, it takes 7 steps. It takes 7 distinct folds. And so what I think the middle of this sculpture represents is just that, those folds, or that process, and the step-by-step actions that we have to take to create this grand vision that we have. As a leader, I can get stuck right here. I love to think about a grand vision for my business or what's next in my life. I love to talk to our team members about what their vision for their life is. And all of that is wonderful. But if we don't take a little bit of time to think about what is the process and structure need to look like between here and there, we will never achieve this. If you make these folds in the wrong order, if you make them haphazardly and they're not symmetrical, you're not going to end up with what you had in mind. You might end up with something, but it's certainly not going to be as beautiful. It won't fly as well. It won't be as intricate. It's the process in the middle that actually makes all of the magic happen. And so that's what I take from this sculpture. I think the artist was thinking about something pretty similar. If you look up on YouTube, you can find him talking about the creation of this sculpture. And the word he uses is becoming. What are we becoming, and what's the process that we go through to get there? So I would love to transition now to thinking about, what would this sculpture, what does it mean to you? What does this thought of it's the process and the structure in between that gets us to the end, what does that mean in terms of application in your personal life or at work? So to do this, we've created a special planner. that has a couple questions we're going to go through together. We do this for every episode of With Purpose, and you can download it from the show notes or look me up on the website, benhutton.com/withpurpose. Planner will be right there for you to download. Before we jump into those questions, though, we are going to start where we always start, with gratitude. I learned a long time ago, actually from a guy named Sean Achor, who wrote a book called The Happiness Advantage, that gratitude is the foundation, the root for so much good that happens in our lives. And so we want to start here. We want to remember what has happened over the last few weeks and reflect on that, and then plan from that space instead of planning from a place of scarcity or fear of what's coming ahead. So, what happened in your last week that you're grateful for? So one thing that I am grateful for is this last week, I got to watch my son play in a football game. This is a brand new sport for him, and I'm so proud of him for trying something new. So after gratitude, we need to clear out of our mind all the other stuff that's kind of just weighing us down. Like, we collect things over the week, over the month that we know we need to do, but for whatever reason we've been putting off. And so this next area is a place for you to just write those down. Just as a reminder, if you are listening along or watching on YouTube, we're going to give you about 30 seconds to answer each of these questions. If you need a little more time to think about it or to process it, please feel free to just hit the pause button. Okay, so first question today is actually, which piece of this sculpture are you drawn to? I shared that I was drawn to the paper airplane at the end, the part that represents vision and excitement and emotion, future. And also I loved the beginning, the potential. I think we're all made differently, and some people may love the middle steps and not know how to think about the future or potential. Where do you fit on this spectrum? What part are you drawn to? Second question is, what would leaning into the other parts of the sculpture, the ones that you aren't drawn to, look like for you? So for me, I have to be very intentional about thinking about the processes or structure that I need to make my visions become a reality. Okay, so that's it for this episode of With Purpose. I hope that this has been impactful for you. You know, this sculpture has shaped a lot of how I think about leadership in business, and I hope it's been impactful for you as you think about what does leadership look like in your specific organization, in your family, or for you personally. If it has been, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback on how this podcast is working for you. If there's something we can tweak a little bit here and there to make it more effective, let us know. You can comment down below on YouTube or send us an email through my website, benhutton.com/withpurpose. Otherwise, we'll see you in another week to plan together again. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.